So, Abhishek, can you help me understand a little bit about your background? Like, where do you come from? And you went for engineering to Manipal. So, how did you, decide on that ECA is something that I'm going to study? So, can you just give us a few small background about that?
Okay, so hi, this is Abhishek, and like I'm one of those lucky kids who is born to a father who is an engineer and who did his PhD, sorry, master's and PhD in electronics background, close to power electronics, then had his research in VLSI.
Hmm.
And my mom has done a great deal of research and her PhD in physics and then nanomaterials also. So yeah, I had a great guidance in different areas, starting from mathematics and science since childhood, and I had a great deal of interest in those. So I used to like physics too. And while growing up, when I read about different programming languages like C++ and Java, I found a keen interest towards it, and I had genuine interest towards the processors involved behind the CPUs or the laptops. So that was one point where I once spoke to my dad that how is this as a topic if I want to study. So he told just come with me to the lab. He has like two different laboratories in NIT Rourkela. He's a professor there. So he took me to his VLSI and embedded systems lab and showed me some of the research work he and his PhD students do. So yeah, that was a bit of trigger for me that okay, this is something if I study, I'm gonna love it. I'm gonna enjoy knowing more about it. And also, like one of the major factors was I was really fascinated by the infotainment system of cars. And also, like if I used to look around, like I used to feel that a lot of things are, let's say, starting from a refrigerator or a radio system or such. I used to be really fascinated that how so many functionalities work together in sync. May it be sensors and actuators mixed together. So when I used to talk to my dad about it, he could clearly tell me that okay, this is something how it goes on, and if you study more about it, you will find out eventually. So yeah, luckily I was guided quite well by my parents on this, and yeah, there was a bit of influence and motivation from them. Yeah,
Sure, sure.
that's my background, and that's how I chose Nepal, and I decided to pursue electronics and communication.
Sure. Cool. So I think I'll jump a little bit forward now. I mean, you spent 4 years in engineering and you were in Manipal, right? So how was your decision process like when you were thinking about the placement process, or you were thinking about what kind of jobs to pursue? And there are different paths that people have right in front of them. It can be you can go into a coding kind of a job, you can go into a consulting job, you can go into a different field altogether which is not related to engineering. So I mean, how did you think about it? How did you go ahead with deciding, okay, I want to sit for these kind of companies, and I want to try for Bosch or somewhere else?
Okay, so I was quite keen on some of the technical companies which were quite close to my area. Like I had a short list in my mind from the very start. Like uh, some of the companies were Siemens, Honeywell, Schneider, and there was Qualcomm and one or two other semiconductor startup kind of companies which were supposed to come that year. So yeah, they were, and also ABB. So I realized that these are the companies in my area, so my preparation should be focused on that. So to start with the preparations, I had multiple things in mind. Like I used to go to the council pages, look at the previous year posts, and try getting in touch with some of the students who either got through the interview process or are currently working there, like alumni from MIT, like 2 years senior to me or 3 years senior to me. I mean, they could tell a bit about either the work culture or the interview process they went through, or if they're doing an internship in that company and how everything is. So that was one of the preparation process. And the main motivation I had going for this is like over the 4 years journey in my college, I I was more focused on the technical side of my engineering. Like I was involved with my robotics team. I did quite a lot of work, and when I was leading the team, we did a lot of projects together. Like starting from my first year, like I was involved with final year students and doing some major projects also. And when I was in my second and third year, I was involved with a lot of other juniors in exploring different areas. Like I explored areas from image processing to some of the core aspects of embedded systems and all. So when this placement season was coming, that was one of the times I had also considered going for masters in the upcoming year. But I was clear about one thing, that the things I have tried in my college in these 4 years, it's better if I go out there in the field and try something, like realize the process of engineering. Like automation was one of the things I was also keen on to explore apart from embedded systems. And when Bosch had come in, they also told that they would be offering different profiles of automation. And so was Honeywell, and so was Schneider as well. So these were some of the companies where I could find some of the options I had. So I was like really keen. Like sometimes when I didn't used to get much of experience from either my seniors or something, I used to Google up in the internet, go through Quora, and try to read some of the interview experiences, some of the placement experiences of people from different batches.
Hmm.
That helped a lot. Like it's a
Okay,
bit of digging you need to do. Yeah.
sure. And so when you started your job at Bosch, could you just like give a very small snippet about how was your day like there, and what did you do exactly on the job, and how was it with respect to like what you thought, right? Because you were keen on getting into embedded systems and automation, etc. So now, how was it at Bosch? So could you just help us understand a little bit of that?
So I was lucky in this case that when I got my project assigned, my manager explained me really well the application area. He knew that I was the guy who was interested in embedded systems and its applications. So he clearly told me that this is an application of embedded system in automotive, in cars. And he explained me what are the things we are going to work on, what are the things we are going to explore, and what was my role. So I was clearly told that it's like valid verification and validation, that is mainly towards testing. So it will start from software testing, system testing, and integration testing. So when I was told clearly about all this, so I initially had a bit of hiccup saying that, okay, testing, and I told that would development be a better cycle to grow up with. So to motivate me, he told that if you do testing, you will get a better system knowledge. And if you then go in as a developer, you might do even better because you're going in with the total system knowledge. This kind of triggered me and got me excited. And I was like, fine, let's start. Let's kick off. And so
Hmm.
so that's how, I mean, my manager was quite good in terms of his words. He could influence me a little bit by saying a few things. So it worked out well for me. And I started off mainly as a tester, and slowly I grew up in the team. Yeah.
Okay. So just to I mean wrap up this phase of your life, right? So it's like Manipal, then into Bosch, and you are doing this. So if you think about it, and if I ask you to highlight a few things which are important for students who are currently studying in undergrad colleges in engineering in Manipal or in other colleges as well. So what would be like a few pointers that they should keep in mind when they are choosing their first job, no matter what course, what degree they are in, or what branch they are in? But what would be a few things to keep in mind?
If you are genuinely trying to choose a job, or you're planning to do a job, then one of the major pointers is like just after undergraduation. First of all, like you have to remember one thing: you have to be like bent on your knees and be prepared to learn whatever comes your way, either hard or easy. Because the thing is, as a fresher in present date, in such scenarios, if you are able to crack a job, if you're getting a job, you have a job in hand, you're lucky. You're really lucky. Like in India, there are many graduates across the country who do not end up having a job immediately after engineering. They struggle hard, they study through different organizations for a year or sometime, they struggle to make it happen. So those journeys are entirely different. So the first thing is to consider, I mean, if you're trying for a job seriously, then you need to do a little bit of background research about the company you want to work on. Like if it's a proper technical company, then keep your basics really strong. Like if it's related to IT or computer, so keep your basics in one of the languages really strong. Like master yourself with either C or Java or C++, just one language. Like you don't have to be like jack of all trades. I mean, that really doesn't help. your algorithm and problem solving skill is something which is going to help you in the long run. So I would just recommend that when you're starting off new in a job and you do not have a great salary, you should not be demotivated, because you should just focus on what you can learn and what you can offer. As in, like, yes, there would be moments you have to work little long. I too had, like, instead of 8 hours, I had to slog like 10 or 11 hours a day. And I used to think that my paycheck isn't like the best. But then I used to look back at what all I learned throughout the day. And that used to motivate me that, okay, I learned like five new stuffs about a small thing. And that adds a lot of value. So the skills you develop can always add a lot of weight on your CV. The new tools you learn, it opens more doors for you in the future. So you have to be focused, you have to stay calm, and it's a process, it's a slow process. You got to be patient. That's the most important.
Cool. Um, so I think we'll move on to the next phase now. That is while you're pursuing masters, right? So the first question that obviously comes to my mind is that why did you decide to go for masters? Was it always the plan that you will go and study further, or is it something that came along while you were working, or probably in the last few years of your engineering? And then combined with this is my next question, that like, how did you decide that should I go directly after engineering, which a lot of people do, right? Or should you like take some break, do get some ground exposure, and then go for a master's?
So what happened is, like, by the time I was entering my final year, like back in sixth semester, the transition between sixth to seventh, I had a bit of plans about that. I should be doing my masters. I should be pursuing in these areas. But across the seventh semester, when I was thinking either I should apply or not, I immediately didn't jump into giving any of the exams at that point. And I decided that, okay, I want to do a job first, because what I felt, and some of my seniors also advised me, that if you have some job experience before going for your masters, like, it's quite easy to crack a research assistantship or a teaching assistantship in USA, not in Europe. It's like here, it's they mostly give privilege to PhD students, or if you are a PhD candidate in Europe. So there was one more factor, that if you are doing your masters either in USA or Europe or Australia or China or anywhere you want, some job experience always helps you to easily land summer jobs, which I feel most of the master's students from India, like, you invest a lot of money and you go abroad for your studies. So it's always easy to find part-time internships either in small startups which are related to your area. Like, a lot of universities have different incubation chambers, either run by companies or funded by alumni doing a lot of research work in different ends. So having a bit of work experience can help you in landing interview opportunities at least. I mean, that's what I'm telling from my experience.
Cool. And I think one of the last questions that I have for you is that when you decided to go for masters, what was the process like in terms of deciding how to go for, like, which course to go for, or which colleges to go for? How do you go about that process?
When I was looking through the different courses offered in colleges, so as I wanted to study a few specific subjects which were like related to the embedded systems and the platform development track and all that. So what I found out is only a few courses that were offered in Germany, Sweden, and Netherlands were really close and suitable to the thing, like what I was looking for. So it was a clear match. Yeah, I had to do a lot of digging up and I had to go through different aspects, like how this university's research work has been over the years, and what are the faculties exactly working on. So those were some of the important things. And yeah, the question could be like, why I didn't go for USA and all. So it's not that I didn't want to apply for USA, but it was like a choice that I felt, if I'm studying something like computer science, machine learning, or information technology, or AI, so those jobs and those subjects are more recognized in US market. But in Europe, there is still a lot of demand and respect at the same time for electronics, embedded systems, like something core to the electrical side, electronic side, and the systems aspect. and I had applied to Germany also. But like finally, when I got admitted, I got accepted from different places, and that was one of the times when it was quite a difficult choice to do between either Germany or Sweden. And what I felt is if I go to Germany, my job opportunities would be quite easy because I had a good background in automotive electronics at Bosch, and Bosch being a really good German company and being a first and second tier supplier to many other OEMs. So opportunities could have been ample. But my course, what was offered in Sweden at KTH in Stockholm, so that was one of the major deciding factors. I told that no, I will do masters just once. So why not pursue the right area? Why not go for the right university? So yeah, that's how I decided to pursue my masters in embedded systems at KTH.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. So I think Abhishek, these were all the questions that I had. Thank you so much for taking out the time and answering all of them.